the forgotten part of the Ridgeway. So as per normal, great fun coming out to these places. And just to remember, my content is all original. I don't feed off of other people's content at all. And it's just nice to share the experience with you all. Well, this used to be the A361. It's now been diverted as they've got a road that goes past it since the 1990s. But this is the original part of the Ridgeway. And as I'm walking down this part of the Ridgeway, I'll put on a what 3 words and various maps. How did it become like this? Well, this Ridgeway here that I'm walking on at the moment is known to be 4,000 years old. And okay, we see in its modern state with its old tarmac surface and everything else, but it's still part of the Ridgeway. And everybody will say, oh no, I'm not so sure, James. And the answer is, it is. And it's just a fantastic place to walk. And I'm sure, like with all these places, we'll find some interest as we go along. I do all the hard work walking. You do all the easy work watching. And the path still leads out along this way onto a lane which we'll follow, but is still part of the original Ridgeway route. Just walking this, we often think of tracks on the Ridgeway just being up over chalk downs, but these were built at a high level to avoid all the wet lowlands and the forest. Strange to think of, but that's the case. And I think we all get a bit hooked up sometimes on chalk tracks everywhere. But this was primarily very important at a later date for the Romans because of the mining area, because it later linked up with the Harrow Way at various junctions up here from Ashen Woods and places like that. So it's an amazing place to walk and feel that history. To think that Neolithic man trod, I think it says on the Nunney website, padded his way along the trail. And you can see that things are still named after the Ridgeway here, with this sign on here saying Ridgeway Farm. We carry on down this way, and we're soon going to link up with the busy A361, and we've got to cross that. And this would have been one of many junctions that came off of the Ridgeway. And as I walk down here, I can see over in the distance there, Marston Church. So I think we'll go and have a look at that. Taking a path off of the Ridgeway, along over the field there towards Tytherington. But after, we've gone and looked up at the church over there. And see, we're just coming up to the church now, but it may be locked, in which case we'll have to carry on. Well, in amongst the yew trees here, unfortunately the church is locked. I'll have to come back another day on that, and we'll carry on with our little Ridgeway route. But the trees behind me, yew trees, they're the longest lived trees in Britain. They were initially planted on religious sites. It's not known how they got there, whether they came with the Ice Age or not. They are obviously poisonous. They deter animals. You can make weapons out of them, bows, etc. So they are a very sacred tree. And you get male and female trees too that flower in around March. So it's quite an interesting point as we carry on our little way. I think we'll leave the church now and move on. And as I walk along the path here, if I look to the left, and see Marston House, which is, we're walking through part of Marston Park near Frome. Absolutely amazing. Look at that lovely house there. And now I'm headed towards the medieval village of Lower Marston, which is last recorded in 1100, and obviously was evacuated not by necessarily plague, but more by land ownership, I would think. I now cross over the Marston Brook. And already you can see almost like a moated structure here running along, and the bank going up. But apparently there were streets and houses here. So I will put on a LiDAR map to show exactly the street pattern on there. And we obviously have to let our imagination run a bit riot in these cases, as we always do, but you can definitely see at ground level lumps and bumps all over the place. And interesting to think that this area held a village. We've got the remnants of what I like to think was the village pond. So this whole area, excuse the farm track, would have been a medieval village, and that there could very well have been the pond for the village. So I'm going to walk on from the site of Lower Marston medieval village, and there's this oak tree here. Doesn't look quite old enough to have been there when the village was here, but it makes you wonder. Still within humps and bumps all over the place. A fantastic place to come and see. And off of that Forgotten Ridgeway too. And more humps and bumps as you look around everywhere here. But I'm going to carry on this path now and go over a few fields and get back to the Ridgeway. Well, is it just me, or is there something really special about walking in a lost medieval village? And the answer is, to me it is. Is there something special about walking a forgotten ridgeway that nobody really talks about? Yes, it is. So it's a win-win. Absolutely fantastic. Well, now back to an area I recognise, over the bridge, over the brook there, and I'll carry on round this corner. There's the church over there we looked at the start. Then I'll go up Cheese Hill and get back on the Ridgeway. Well, now back on the Ridgeway, what have I learned? I've learned that you can follow this. It's an ancient trail up to 4,000 years old, and get to a medieval village as well just off of it. Absolutely fabulous. And although it's gone through many changes, as most things do, it proves that it was a popular route by Neolithic man, then by the Romans, and also by everybody that followed them probably too, until it was eventually bypassed. But what a great route to take. So thank you very much for watching me, and until the next time, goodbye.